All results are from online voting by over 150 different basketball coaches from around Manitoba, the most votes we've ever received. All coaches of the years will also receive a bursary grant to attend this fall's Super Coaches Clinic as a guest of Basketball Manitoba. We are pleased to receive additional support from Coaching Manitoba, Sport Manitoba, and the Manitoba Sports Writers and Sportscasters Association, and the Balling for the Cure organizations to make this event possible. We do welcome all award winners, including players and coaches, if they would so like to say a few words, and thanks. The first award we're going to present today is the Carl Ridd Award. Usually it's presented at the end, but something happened, so we're going to present it at the beginning today. The annual Carl Ridd Award of $500 has been presented annually since 1970 by Basketball Manitoba to a graduating athlete who exemplifies outstanding leadership on and off the court and commitment to their school and team. The award is to be used as financial assistance toward a post-secondary education for the upcoming school year. Presenting this year's awards will be Bev and Brian Ridd.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here and see these wonderful basketball people. I spent a lot of time in my life in a basketball court, sitting in the bleachers. Carl Ridd Award is given to students who have a combination of high marks and also to their work in the community. Little bit about Carl that you think you'd would like to know. He was an outstanding basketball player for many years. He started out playing basketball, like most of you, in his high school, Gordon Bell, and he carried on and was at the University of Manitoba, a member of the Bisons. And at that time, they called him King Carl because he was such a good player. In fact, one year he was the 4th highest scorer in all of North America. That was in 1949. His best shots were taking hook shots left and right. In 1952, he played for Canada in the Olympics. And in 1915, that won the Canadian Championship and went on to represent Canada in the World Championships in Rio de Janeiro. He was named to the 2nd All-Star team, the first Canadian to ever be given this honor. He has now he was inducted into the member of the Canadian Basketball Hall of Fame, member of the Manitoba Basketball Hall of Fame, and the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame. He had a very work ethic. He just loved to play. One of the reporters wrote this about him. This is what he said when he spoke to the reporter. I always liked getting tired. I was always in good condition, and if I was tired, I knew my opponents would be tired too. When everyone is tired, the game becomes a contest of wills, and I never doubted my will would prevail. Ridd generally was the context of the will by putting his best shot was by putting the ball in the hoop, and he averaged 25 points a game, and he was the leading scorer for the Bisons, and that year he was the 4th leading scorer in all North America. But he also had another side to him. He always wanted to help others. And as he said, I'm trying to help the people who have no voice to have a voice. And he had a boundless enthusiasm to help people. It was really interesting when I went back and looked at the things that he has done. He had not only this work ethic, in those days he didn't have the equipment you have now, so he used to practice in the backyard in boots, so rubber boots, so he could make it harder to do things. He was a good student. He loved books. He loved to teach. He had a PhD and degrees from University of Manitoba, University of Winnipeg, and Drew University in the United States. And he served his community. He worked tirelessly for peace and justice, including one of the first people to take on gay rights, and that was a really important thing. So he was always said, you know, you need to go with your heart. All I know about life, he said, though, I learned from sports. So that was part of his life. So the award winners chosen for these awards is pretty special. And so my son Brian here, Brian Ridd, will speak about them.
A little change of height. Thank you so much for coming. This year's recipients, as my mom was telling you, it's quite an honor to receive this award because it's about being more than a basketball player. It's about being an academic, it's about being a citizen, and it's about being an athlete. It's really the winners, and you'll see they flash up the award recipients over the years from time to time, and you'll see quite a long list of people who have gone on to do amazing things. This year, we'll give out the male award winner first. I'd like to invite Kyler Filowich up to the stage. Kyler is graduating his grade 12 with an average of 87%, and he was not only the captain of his provincial championship basketball team, but the captain of his provincial championship, one of those other sport, football or something, teams. He in addition to being an outstanding athlete in both sports, being named to countless MVPs and all-star teams, he and a classmate started a project in his grade 12 year called Handbags for Hope, Handbags of Hope, where they collected gently used purses, filled them with items that people would need, and provided them to the Women's Resource Center in downtown Winnipeg. So that's just a little bit of an idea of who this young man is. Congratulations, Kyler. We need to have a picture taken, and you stay, and we have to make her look as small as possible. Okay. It's easy for you. Oh, you can go back. Thank you. All right. The winner of the female award this year is Claire Signatovich. This is an easy one for me. I have two kids who are grads of the Oak Park basketball program. So it's easy to cheer for Oak Park for me. Claire comes here with not only an outstanding basketball record, again, countless MVP and all-star awards. Murray Brown, who was her coach for the last 3 years, says that the record going into the playoffs this year was 92 wins and 5 losses with Claire on the team. Pretty outstanding. She maintained a 96% grade point average, and I really don't even know how one does that, never mind playing high-level sport. In addition to her work as a student and as an athlete, she provided assistance to her community. She was the co-chair of the athletic committee at Oak Park and helped to engineer a number of their special events. She and Kyler were both members of the provincial teams. Claire also was a coach through Special Olympics, and I love this name. She was the coach of the East Kildonan Rascals. Isn't that great? Anyway, congratulations, Claire. Thank you, Scott.
Sometimes history can fade things a little bit. This is so interesting to me. Carl Ridd played in the World Championships and was an all-star. So that makes Carl Ridd he was on the all-world team. Okay, now think about it. Some of you are a little bit of arrogance because you're on the all-Manitoba team. He was on the all-world team. Okay? That's pretty spectacular. I got a guy over here that played for me this year, Matt Madrano there. He tried to tell me he was on the all-universe team. And I said, no, Matt, you're just from a different universe. Okay, next up we have our junior high coach of the year. Mr. Ross Wedlick will assist with his presentation. Mr. Ross Wedlick, the president of Basketball Manitoba. Okay, all of the coaches of the year recognized this year were nominated from others in the coaching community and have an outstanding season with their teams. All our coaching award winners have shown a great dedication to their teams and have played a large part in the growth of the sport in their respective area. These are some of the toughest decisions our committee has to make. As for every winner recognized today, there are dozens of other coaches at these levels who continue to make an outstanding commitment to the sport of basketball on a regular basis. We do invite our coaching award winners to say a few words of thanks if they choose. This year's junior high girls coach of the year is Ralph Banquet from Sargent Park School.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Basketball Manitoba for the recognition. Before really this stuff ever happens, there's always, for anybody that is a coach, there's always people in the backgrounds that mean so much to a coach. And just by the support shown around the tables from Sargent Park, the family there, so all the teachers at Sargent Park, special shout out to the phys ed head, Kayla Tatro, and to our administration that makes it possible to do extracurricular activities very, very well with the kids. And without having a fantastic team, this wouldn't be possible either. So shout out to all the ladies. They had a 28-0 run this year, so good stuff. Thanks very much.
Wow, Ralph Banquet's been around for like a million years. That guy's making me look young. But that reminds me of a little story here. I heard my daughter the other day, she was talking to her friends, and she's talking about something that happened in junior high, and she used the expression, back in the day. I'm thinking, back in the day, that's 3 years ago. I have underwear that's older than that. Back in the day, I remember back in the day, back in the 1980s when I played university basketball, there was no three-point line. That's back in the day. And then my second year, they brought in the three-point line, and I actually led the country in three-point shooting percentage, if you didn't know that. 2 for 3. 2 for 3 on the year. Led the country. And what does that tell you? The coach didn't play me enough. That's what that tells you. Coach did. That's back in the day. I remember back in the day when 1970s when Murray Brown was playing high school basketball. That's when he had his socks were up to here, his shorts were up to here. That's back in the day. Okay? I remember back in the 1960s when Ross Wedlick was playing high school basketball. Back then, you could go for popcorn, come back, and the score hadn't changed. That's back in the day, people. And now we have our Junior High Boys Coach of the Year. Our Junior High Boys Coach of the Year from General Wolf, Jeff Proskin. And on his way up, I'll just read this. For a number of years now, Jeff has been a tremendous leader of the General Wolf basketball program, and they consistently have been one of the top teams in the city, with a number of his players moving on to big things at the next level. He's shown great passion and dedication to the team and was a great leader and a great role model for his team.
Thank you. It's very nice to see everybody out here today. Thank you, Basketball Manitoba and the coaches for selecting me for this award. Much like Ralph just said in the previous speech, we cannot do things by ourselves. I'd like to thank the administration and the staff at General Wolf for their support. Specifically, I'd like to thank Greg Chesvalis, who is coaching with me this year, Vic Guerra, who's with me here today, helped me out quite a bit with the boys. I'd like to thank my players, because as we all know, we're a little better coaches when we have talent, but every year we do the best we can with what we have. And yeah, no, thank you very much, and appreciate it.
Our Junior Varsity Girls Coach of the Year, the Junior Varsity Girls Coach of the Year from Vincent Massey Collegiate, Adam Kahn. Adam has been leading the Vincent Massey Trojans JV girls basketball program for a number of years and has been one of the vital reasons that the program continues to be one of the most successful programs in Manitoba. A large number of his players have gone on to the post-secondary level, and his passion and dedication to the game is second to none. All right, our Junior Varsity Boys Coach of the Year from Glen Lawn Collegiate, Mitch Katakutton. Mitch led Glen Lawn JV boys to an undefeated season. He has put in an unbelievable amount of support for the boys on and off the court. He gives an immense amount of his time and energy into helping his boys succeed.
I just want to say thank you to all my players and all the support that are still giving us. And I'm just coach like everyone else, and it just so happened that my team was really successful this year. So it's all credit to them. So I just want to thank them and everyone that's supported us this year. So thank you very much.
Next, we're going to present the A, AA, and AAA Female All-Manitoba team. We'll begin with the AA All-Female team. Please come forward when your name is called and remain at the front so we can take a photograph. So, this is the AAA Female All-Manitoba Second team, and we're going to call Jan Howe up to present the awards. The second team from the King's School, Hope Dixon. From Artie Parker Collegiate, Emma Diebert. From Rosenort School, Rachel Waldner. From Hapnot School, Alyssa Patterson. From Goose Lake High School, Dalen Baniak. The AAA AAA Female All-Manitoba second team. Now we have the AAA AAA Female All-Manitoba first team. From Neelan High School, Trinity Blair. From St. John's Ravenscourt, Braylon Riedman. From Boys of Ain School, Trinity Belani. From Warren Collegiate, Grace Goodman. And from Artie Parker Collegiate, Ashley Williams. Our next award is the A Female Player of the Year. And for this award, we're going to call up the coaches to present the award. To present the A Female Player of the Year, coach, we have Coach Keith Forsyth from Boys of Ain School.
When you come from a small school, you have to take the athletes that you get. Whoever tries out pretty much makes the team. And about 3 years ago, I saw a girl in grade 8 play basketball. And in Boise, we have an advisor group system, and it's my job to take and mentor a group of kids from 9 to 12. And you'll see why I specifically chose this young woman in a second. She's a top student. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met, but she's also about 6 inches taller than I am. So I was watching her play basketball, and I said to her in grade 9 when she came into my advisor group, well, you got to play basketball. I don't know. I'm not very good. And I said, well, I can't teach you to be 6 feet tall, but I can help you with basketball. And so she took on that role, and I have another kid in grade 9 this year, and I kind of grabbed her for the same reason. And Sarah said to her, you know, I didn't really know if I wanted to play basketball in grade 9 either, but I don't know what I'd do without it now. And you should see the improvement of this young lady over the last year. She spent the summer, when they say teams are made during the year and players are made during the off season, it's completely true. It took me about 35 seconds of our first practice to figure out she's improved. And she spent her summer playing club basketball, spent some time with Novell Thomas and the staff at BU, and she went from a player that was tall to a tall basketball player. And at our category, we didn't play many AA schools. We played a lot of 3A schools. But in the A category, she was pretty dominant. And she scored 38 in the provincial final and 37 in the provincial final in JV last year. And the one thing that tall kids love to do, and this one especially, is she likes to score. And if you're at an A school, MHS AA has decided next year we're going to be a AA school, so you don't have to deal with her. And if you're a AA school, well, you got a tall kid that can play because she's only grade 11. So I would like to present the A Female Player of the Year to Sarah Hallett from Boissevain.
To present the AA Female Player of the Year, I'm going to call up Kevin Braun and Kirby Hearn from Warren Collegiate.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Braun, and alongside is Kirby Hearn. We have been coaching together at Warren Collegiate for 8 years, so we graduated and then pretty much took on coaching ever since. I'll talk a little bit about this year's Player of the Year. Being named provincial MVP in her grade 11 year, she came back this year wanting to be even better than she was last year. She put a tremendous amount of work in during practice and really inspired the younger players with her insane work ethic and dedication to her team.
So what should define a Player of the Year? Stat averages: 18 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds, 8 steals per game. What else? Leadership. Being a player that other players look up to for inspiration. A player that you can put on the court that'll make all 4 of your other players better players as well. She was one of the driving factors that helped our team repeat as provincial champions. Like most good athletes, she's overly critical on herself because she knows her potential. From a coaching standpoint, she has always been a pleasure to coach and an amazing athlete, basically overflowing with personality and talent. We're not going to stand up here and go on and on about her, as she's very humble, and she wouldn't be very happy if we did. With that being said, we are very pleased to award the AA Girls Player of the Year to Alexandra Chester.
The 3A Female Player of the Year will be presented by Carrie Lesuc from Nealon High School.
This year's 3A Player of the Year was the MVP of the basketball championships that our team won. We're very happy to do that. And this is a player that came to Nealon in grade 10, wasn't even going to play basketball. She got talked into playing it, didn't have any basketball shoes, and ran up and down the floor all season, or most of the season anyways, in just skater shoes. And people even say, this girl's pretty good. Somebody should get her some basketball shoes. Grade 11, she tries out for our varsity team, and we kept her as a project thinking she has some potential. She might be pretty good. We'll see how everything develops with her. By the end of the year, she was one of the reasons why we got to the provincials. This year, we relied on her quite a bit. She averaged 19 points a game, 13 rebounds, and 6 steals a game. was the MVP in a tournament and was one of the key reasons why we were very fortunate to win the provincial championships. This year's 3A Player of the Year is Asia Delangoma from Dealand High School.
Now we have the A, AA, and AAA, all Manitoba male second team. Again, we ask you to come forward for your picture. And helping present the awards will be Hank Nyman and Ross Wedlick. The A, AA, AAA male all Manitoba second team from Pinawa Secondary School, Adam Kerr. From Niverville Collegiate, Cress Schmidt. From St. Norbert Collegiate, Pacific Jubilate Day. From Gray Academy, Dylan Kagan. And from Morden Collegiate, Stefan Bushman. Now we have the A, AA, AAA male all Manitoba first team. From Niverville Collegiate, Joel Dewick. From Dufferin Christian, Rylan Vanderwood. From Sanford Collegiate, Logan Schreier. From Gordon Bell High School, Abdahakim Hedoun. And from St. Norbert Collegiate, Joe Benoit. Now we have the A Male Player of the Year. We're going to call up the coaches to present this award. The A Male Player of the Year will be presented by Brent Berry from Pinawa Secondary School.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brent Berry, and I have had the pleasure of coaching this young man for the last 3 years now, both at the JV and the varsity level. One of the benefits of being in a really small school is I get to find my kids really early, and I coach both teams, so that's really nice. I get to groom them for 4 years. This is one of those kids you love having on your team. Every single year, he comes back after the summer, adding a new element to his game, always looking for that next challenge, that what can he do next? What can he do better? And as a scrappy single A team, we've always really relied on our defense to get us places. And this young man has always wanted to guard the opposing team's best player. That's his shtick. We know he's going to go out and get us 25, 30 points a game, but he always takes pride at the timeouts and going, "See that, coach? He didn't get a bucket this quarter." And like he loves locking the guys down. I've had a team of gym rats these last 3 years, and they've really done a good job of making me look like a better coach than I am. And this guy has been the poster child for that. It's been a pretty surreal experience, especially this last year with him, watching him use basketball to travel Canada and get to experience things that he wouldn't necessarily get to experience. And I'm just very thrilled to see where he's going to go next with basketball. So please join me in congratulating Noah Parr.
The AA Male Player of the Year will be presented by Larissa Enns from Carmen Collegiate.
Hello, I've had the privilege of coaching a young man, Kevin Dunn, for 8 years now. Living in a small town, we actually don't have as many coaches or people, so you get to do it all. And I say it's a privilege because he is unbelievably coachable. His best attribute is he just never gives up. And I know that there's a number of coaches in this room that at some point during the year or previous years, they thought they almost got us and we're having a terrible game, and then the Dunn factor comes in. And the Dunn factor is Kevin Dunn. He just goes on autopilot, and making 6 threes in a quarter to win a game is something that's a regular occurrence for him. He says he's 5'9". I don't believe it. There's no way. However, he does play like he's 6'2", and the fact that he can average 30 points a game and other teams hate him is another reason why he's just such a fabulous player for us. Kevin Dunn, come on up.
The 3A Male Player of the Year will be presented by Jamie Kagan from Grey Academy.
Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you this year's AAA player from Grey Academy, Aaron Thomas. Aaron had an outstanding season this year. He was selected tournament MVP at the Sanford, Transcona, Nelson Mack tournament, Provincial Players' Choice Award, and this year's Provincial MVP. Aaron's definitely one of the hardest working players I've ever coached in my 30 years. He's constantly in the gym, working on his game before and after school. Aaron truly is a role model to all the young kids at Grey Academy and showing them that hard work definitely will pay off. Aaron, your entire Grey Academy family is very proud of you. I can't wait to see what you do in your grade 12 season. Aaron, please come up and accept this award.
something that goes a little bit with back in the day. You know, some of you might have had this. When I was your age, any players in here have that? Your parents give you that one? When I was your age, when I was in my youth, I used to like to lay around and lay on the couch and watch TV. And my mom, one day she comes in, she says, you know, when I was your age, we weren't laying on the couch watching TV. We got outside and we got some exercise. You get off that couch, you get outside and you get some exercise. So the other day I'm in my house, I noticed my daughter. She's pressing buttons on her phone. All day long, she's sitting in her chair pressing those buttons on her phone. Finally, I had enough. I looked at her, I said, you know, when I was your age, I wasn't sitting around pressing buttons on the phone. I was lying on that couch watching TV. You put that phone away, get on the couch and start watching TV. When I was your age. All right, the next award, A Girls Coach of the Year. The A Girls Coach of the Year from Boys of Ain School, Keith Forsyth. Coaching both the JV girls and varsity girls in Boys of Ain. And this year, both teams have been ranked number one most of the season. Keith has very strong teams year after year, and it is definitely due to the time and effort he has put into coaching his players. He's respected by players and other coaches and runs a very good program of success.
Well, that's the nicest thing anybody said to me all season. Thanks. I've been doing this way too long, and I need to thank Basketball Manitoba and anybody who thought that I deserve this. It's humbling. I just do it because I like it. And I need to thank one particular person in here because I never played a game of basketball in my life. And so umpteen back in the day when I started, I phoned Don Thompson. I said, what the hell are you doing with this game? Knowing he knew a lot. And Don's been there for the last 20 years. Anytime I need to ask a question or him to come out to Boys of Ain, he's been there for me. So thank you, Mr. Thompson. And thank you.
The A Boys Coach of the Year from Pinawa School, Brent Barry. Brent consistently develops competitive players that push themselves to compete. He's led the team to back-to-back provincial championships. He brings a balance of intensity and sportsmanship in all he does. Always pushing the boys to be better and never settling for complacency.
Thank you very much. I would really like to thank you guys, the basketball community. I've only been coaching actually for a few years here and have been kind of spoiled rotten with the amount of talent at my school. I'd say it's about 10% me, 90% the kids making me look good. And traveling around Manitoba, it's been a lot of the coaches who've been having these conversations with me at tournaments and really bringing me in and welcoming me and making me feel like part of the group. I'm kind of a younger person, and it's just been really awesome, and I've appreciated it. The one group of people I'd really like to acknowledge are over here. Being at a small school, we don't have buses, and in order to get to all these games, we rely purely on our parent drivers. And it just so happens that a few of them are here who've probably logged a few thousand kilometers on their cars these past few seasons, and we wouldn't have the program we do without you guys. So I just want to thank you so much. Thanks a lot, guys.
The AA Girls Coaches of the Year are Kevin Braun and Kirby Hearn from Warren Collegiate. Kevin and Kirby have coached Warren varsity girls 2A program since they graduated in 2011, and they have built a legacy and a provincially recognized program. The time and devotion they have given to their girls over the years and their commitment to building leaders for the game and the community is at such a high level. As young coaches, they have committed themselves to maintaining a top-tier program and culture that is well known across AA schools provincially. The AA Boys Coach of the Year from Carmen Collegiate, Larissa Enns. Larissa has built a dynasty in Carmen. Year in, year out, her teams are always in the mix to win it all. She is a dedicated coach who works very hard with the players on her team, making them better and better each year.
Wow, thank you. I wasn't expecting that at all, especially after my loss in that provincial final, but we're not going to talk about that. No, just it's great to be with all coaches here that are building into those kids, and keep up the good work, you guys. Thanks.
The AAA Girls Coach of the Year from St. John's Ravenscourt, Jody Rock. Jody's team has had an undefeated regular season in the SCAC. They have been ranked all season and have finished on the A side in every tournament they played in. She has worked extremely hard with her team to develop their skills and abilities. Any athlete on that team could be a starter, and that is an impressive feat. The 3A Boys Coach of the Year from Gray Academy, Jamie Kagan. Jamie's Gray Academy team went undefeated in AAA boys level all season and coached his team to provincial championship. He's been building the program at Gray each year, making them now a regular fixture as one of the top 3A programs in the province. He gives a huge amount of time to the team, and that extra dedication is now paying off. The 4A Girls Coach of the Year are Murray Brown and Holly Kitchen from Oak Park High School. Coaches Murray and Holly lead the Oak Park Raiders to an undefeated record in Manitoba and the 4A Provincial Championship. Multiple players of theirs have moved on to play at the youth sport level. They have kept this amazing group of athletes focused and driven. It would be easy for a team to lose their path when they dominate the competition as these girls have. That has not been the case. They are a dominant team that improved as a group and individually throughout the season.
Just quickly, congrats to all the coaches and athletes here on great seasons. To the 4 Oak Park girls here, you guys are special. We love you. You guys have been the heart of the team the last few years. And to my co-coach Murray, thank you for everything you put into the program. The girls, it's going to be great memories for a long time, and we've become great friends. So, yeah.
The 4A Boys Coach of the Year from Vincent Massey Collegiate, Nick Lothar. Nick has kept Vincent Massey playing at a high level all season. He's a great teacher of the game and knows how to keep the team playing at a consistently high level. Despite having a target on their back all year, they haven't faltered. Overall, they had They have an outstanding season, and a big part was from Nick's leadership. They won every tournament they were in, including the prestigious Kelowna BC tournament. It can be tough to be the favorite all year and still deliver in the end. Now we have the open category Coach of the Year. The open category Coach of the Year is Kirby Shep from Team Canada. And he's not here right now. But I'm going to read this anyways here. Coach Shep has been a part of the Canadian men's national team program for the past 8 summers. In 2009, Shep was named to the staff of the inaugural Canadian Cadet 17U national team. He's been a coach of numerous medal-winning teams at FIBA events, including a bronze medal at 2010 World 17 Championships and a gold medal with the junior national team at the 2017 World Championships. This past summer, Shep led Canada to a historic silver medal at the Commonwealth Games in Australia. The medal was Canada's first in men's basketball at the Games. The next award is the Jim Bullock Coaching Development Award. This $750,000 pennies. No. The 750 Coaching Scholarship Award was created to honor the life of late Jim Bullock Sr., who was a major component and contributor to the basketball community. These awards are presented annually with the support of the University of Manitoba to allow Manitoba basketball coaches to upgrade their knowledge and expertise in basketball, which will directly impact player and program development. This year's recipient of the Jim Bullock Coaching Award is Eric Sung of Dakota Collegiate. Eric is currently the varsity girls basketball coach at Dakota Collegiate and the 15U boys basketball Manitoba Center of Performance coach. He has also gained valuable coaching experience in recent years with Manitoba provincial teams and the University of Manitoba Bisons. This award will benefit Eric by allowing him to further develop his coaching education through completion of NCCP levels and out-of-province coaching clinics. He plans to complete his NCCP competition development certification this year. Our next award is presented annually by the Manitoba Sports Writers and Sportscasters Association to a graduating athlete who exemplifies outstanding leadership on and off the court and outstanding commitment to their school and team. This award is to be used as financial assistance towards a post-secondary education for the upcoming school year. The $500 scholarship award will be presented by Ernie Nairn of the Manitoba Sports Writers and Sportscasters Association and Estelle Myers.
Good afternoon, everyone. And as you know, Bob Pickin was here every year to present this award on behalf of Ron Myers. And as many of you know, Bob, a good friend of mine at CBC Sports, passed away at the end of February. So I'm indeed honored to be here to replace Bob and to present the award on behalf of Ron Myers. The reason why this award was created by the sports writers and broadcasters is because Ron was our treasurer from the day one of the association's formation. He was a longtime Manitoba provincial court judge who founded the Domestic Violence Court and also found time to volunteer with numerous organizations, including Rainbow Stage, the Winnipeg Press Club, the Red River X, and the Manitoba Bar Association's annual fundraising show for the Manitoba Theatre Centre. From the late 50s to the mid-70s, Ron Myers wrote about basketball for the Winnipeg Tribune. Initially, he covered high school and university games, and later he was assigned to senior basketball. In those roughly 25 years, hardly a day went by without the Tribune publishing a basketball story under Ron Meyer's byline. Basketball has never been better served before or since the years that Ron provided the coverage. Ron Meyer's support of high school basketball earned him a special award in 1973 for outstanding contribution to basketball from the Manitoba Basketball Coaches Association, and he's also in the Basketball Hall of Fame. I'd like to, first of all, invite up our first recipient this afternoon, the female recipient, who is an Oak Park High School graduate, Lauren Bartlett. So, Lauren, would you join us? And while she's coming up, Lauren has consistently been a high achiever, having been recognized with academic excellence awards presented, that is, to students at Oak Park who maintain an academic average of 95% and above in their grade 9 through 11 years. Receiving the Academic Excellence Award is a tremendous accomplishment as well, but to do so with juggling all of her other commitments is indeed impressive. In June, Lauren will be graduating with high honors diploma, and has decided that upon graduation she will enroll in the Asper School of Business at the University of Manitoba and will also play for the Bisons next year. So congratulations to Lauren for her recognition today. Oh, come on. And our male recipient today is Stefan Bushman from Morden Collegiate. Stefan has played for the Manitoba Thunder basketball team all 4 years of high school, with the last 3 years on the varsity team, including being picked unanimously as captain this year by his teammates. Stefan will display strong decision-making skills, whether it is alternating on inbound plays as he reads the defense or making adjustments on their motion offense. Stefan has played all 5 positions on the court, but he mostly plays a power forward center position. Given his height at 6'2", I wish I was, it is impressive that he is able to dominate the paint as much as he does. He averaged 19.7 points per game, 14.85 rebounds, and 5.3 assists a game throughout his grade 12 season, and received the MHSAA Rural Athlete of the Year award twice over the course of this year's basketball season. He truly sets a high standard for himself as a player, student, and leader, and will continue to do so even after he graduates, and he potentially would like to move on to medicine afterwards. So, Stefan, congratulations on a great year and a great high school accomplishment as well.
Basketball Manitoba, in partnership with the Balling for the Cure organization, is proud to present for the second year a scholarship opportunity for graduating Manitoba basketball players. These 4 $1,000 scholarships are presented in the name of Donovan Gale and recognize 4 local basketball players who best represent Donovan's attributes of strength, resilience, positive attitude, and perseverance. The award comes as proceeds from the annual Balling for the Cure basketball tournament, which is held annually in August in Winnipeg. The cause has raised over $25,000 for supporting both Cancer Care Manitoba and now supports these scholarships. This award is to be used as financial assistance towards a post-secondary education for the upcoming school year. Speaking on behalf of the Gale family is Alex Braun, friend of Donovan's from Brandon.
Hi, my name's Alex, and I will confess that I have never played a basketball game in my life. Still, I am deeply honored to be here on behalf of the Gale family today to share a few words about Donovan, in whose name we will be shortly giving out 4 scholarships. I am going to try my best to get through this without ugly crying, but I can promise nothing because he is still very near and dear to me. I don't know how many of you knew Donovan, but for those of you who didn't, Donovan truly was larger than life. He was a big guy, and he spent a lot of time in the gym getting bigger and stronger to improve his playing. And he would engage in some crazy activities to demonstrate that strength that included carrying other players around on his back as he ran from one end of the court to the other. Like he was fit. His smile was ear to ear. Like it was the biggest smile you've ever seen. He was a hugger, and he would just envelop you in these huge arms. And I felt so, I'm not tiny, but I felt tiny. But the biggest part of Donovan was his heart. And he put all of it into the people and things that mattered to him, including his education and balling for the cure. I met him during his time at Brandon University. Education was important to Donovan. Yes, he was there to play ball, and in all honesty, he probably was not the strongest student academically. But if marks were based on effort, he would have been top of the class. I'm not sure anyone has been more proud to walk across the stage at graduation with that big smile of his. And after working in public schools, he decided he wanted to go back to university to become a teacher because he was that dedicated to education. During his battle with cancer, he received incredible support from Cancer Care Manitoba, and that big heart of his wanted to give something back. It was a natural fit for him to pair exercise with raising awareness and funding to help those who had helped him, so Balling for the Cure was born. And since its inception, the organization has raised over $25,000, and all of that money stays right here in the province of Manitoba. Donovan looked at the events of his life as challenges, and he met them with resilience, determination, and perseverance. He put the time and effort in to be successful in school and to give back to those who had helped him, even without being asked for the help. The 4 individuals receiving the Donovan Gale scholarships were likewise chosen for these characteristics. This is one more way that he and his family can help others achieve their dreams. So I hope that today's recipients take the best advantage of this opportunity because they really are standing on the shoulders of a giant. That said, Donovan would be the first to say, come on, man, don't put that kind of pressure on them. It will be enough for him if you do your best and have fun. So don't feel like you have to become astronauts and doctors or engineers. Change the world for the better according to your skills, and you will have made Donovan proud. Do I announce the names?
If you want, I can, or you can.
You go for it.
Okay. All right. Today's recipients for the Donovan Gale Award are from Kildonan East Collegiate, Gurleen Dillon. From Sisler High School, Hallie Allegan. From R.D. Parker Collegiate, Kyle Tomchuk. And from Kildonan East Collegiate, Kiana Wanakut. Our next award we're going to have presented by Stacey Hawash and Ross Wedlick. We have the 4A Female All-Manitoba team. The 4A Female All-Manitoba team are from Oak Park High School, Claire Signatovich. From Glenlawn Collegiate, Lana Shipit. From Oak Park High School, Lauren Bartlett. From Oak Park High School, Emily Johnson. And from Sisler High School, Ira Abello. So seeing these ladies up here, I actually know a couple of them a little bit. My daughter played on the same team at Oak Park with them, and they were lucky enough they got to go to a tournament in Los Angeles this year. So as a good parent, I had to go to Los Angeles to support the team. I thought that was pretty important. That if it was in Portage la Prairie, maybe not, but Los Angeles, I thought it was very important that I be there. And I got a story to tell, and I think it's a true story. The ladies are at the hotel and they're going to go for a swim in the hotel pool. But before you walk in the pool, there's a big sign. And the sign says, if you've had explosive diarrhea within the past 10 days, you're not allowed to enter the pool. Okay? Explosive diarrhea. So Claire turns to Lauren and says, you know, about 3 days ago, I had mild diarrhea. So Lauren, in all her infinite wisdom, kind of shrugs her shoulders and says, well, you're good to go, jump in. Now, for me, I didn't know there's that many degrees of diarrhea. So I Googled it. And this is what I came up with. At the top, volcanic. The next one was severe. Then you had your explosive. Then it was moderate and mild. And at the bottom of the list was a wet fart. And there's a moral to this story, and the moral is, you don't hire Lauren Bartlett as your lifeguard, and you don't invite Claire Signatovich over for a hot tub party. That's the moral of the story. Now we have the 4A Female Player of the Year. We're going to call up the coach to present this award. Mr. Evan Cox from Sturgeon Heights Collegiate will present the 4A Female Player of the Year award.
I don't have any stories about bowel movements. So Player of the Year this year is obviously going to be Anna Kernahan. Had the pleasure of coaching her for the past 2 years at Sturgeon Heights. And I don't know, side fact about me, I have a wedding social in 4 days and I forgot to write a speech. So what I decided to do while sitting there is tell some stories about Anna. Just talking about how lucky I am as a coach. So I'm also lucky that my fiance is a great basketball coach, and so we'll have conversations about the team. So to give you an idea of how easy coaching Anna, or how easy coaching Anna allows you to be a great coach, we've had conversations where we're looking at offense. And Alyssa goes to me, she's like, well, how does your press break lead into that? And I said to her, we don't have a press break, we just give Anna the ball. And she's like, really? Really? What if they zone press? We're good. Anna's got it. Our one tweak against Oak Park, we said, if Emily's guarding you, can't inbound the ball. That's what Anna allows you to be able to do as a coach, is you have no worry about turnovers in the full court, turnovers in the half court. She's got it. Offensive sets. We've looked at a million things sitting on the couch, and Alyssa has nicknamed our offense this year 97 ways to put Anna in a ball screen. And it's pretty accurate because when you have somebody that is that great of a decision maker, that great of a scorer, you're able to allow her to be that coach kind of on the court of empower her to make the decisions that are going to be right for your offense. Anna last year was a great player. She took a huge jump this year. She took on a huge leadership role for the team. We've had multiple conversations, not something you would expect of a regular high school player, to talk about how's the team coming along, how's the team culture, what do you want to run as an offensive player, what's going to be best for our other players to put them in spots to win. She understands the game at a level that you just don't see from a high school player, whether it be girls or guys basketball. Her understanding of the game is just at a higher level. We set some goals earlier on in the year. We set some statistic goals, talking about things that are measurable. And we said average 25 points a game, average 7 rebounds a game, 7 assists a game. Our second game of the year against a great team, Dakota, who go about 6 foot, 6 foot, 6 foot, 5'10". Game finishes, and I'm texting with Anna. I'm like, you had a solid game. How many rebounds did you have? I list her at 5'9". She's not 5'9". She had 20 rebounds in that game as a point guard. And that's something that just carried on throughout the year. So as a 5'8", 5'7" point guard, Anna averaged over 10 rebounds a game, playing at the highest level, playing against top 10 teams all year. Truly, I don't know where our team would have been this year without her. She had more of a load to carry than I think any player in the province, and is a huge reason we were able to achieve the success we did last year and this year. So bring up Anna. Congratulations, Female Player of the Year.
Okay, now I'm going to ask Chiranjit Goswami and Ross Wedlick to come up because we're going to present the 4A Male All-Manitoba team. The 4A Male All-Manitoba team are from Sturgeon Heights Collegiate, Mason Kraus. From St. Paul's High School, Luke Cardinal. From St. Paul's High School, Dante Alexander. From Dakota Collegiate, Marcus Foreman. And from Vincent Massey Collegiate, Jackson Tachinsky. Our next award is the 4A Male Player of the Year, and I'm going to ask Mr. Nick Lother to come up to present Mr. Nick Lother from Vincent Massey Collegiate to present the award.
Good afternoon. To speak to you on behalf of our school about Kyler Filowich. For the third year in a row, Kyler has shown the province that he's one of the most dominant high school basketball players our province has ever seen. As his basketball coach, the opportunity to speak about him has allowed me to sit back and reflect on the why. Why is Kyler Filowich one of the most dominant high school basketball players in Manitoba history? Let me explain. Number one, Kyler is consistent. And when I say that, he's consistently great. He is truly amazing how consistent his effort and attention to detail are when playing basketball. Whether it is in practice or in games, he brings a certain energy and ability to the game that is contagious. Whether it is a provincial final or a drill in practice, Kyler always approaches the game the same way. He approaches it with effort, intelligence, and composure, which guarantees growth and development every time he walks into the gym. Number 2, Kyler is humble. The way Kyler acts, listens, and works is beyond most student athletes in his age group. Kyler's primary motivation is on doing the necessary things to win basketball games. His generosity on the basketball court carries over to the way he acts in our school. Some male athletes really struggle with seeing themselves as students first. Throughout his years at Vincent Massey, Kyler has shown everyone in the school that he is a student. He sits apart from his friends in the classroom. He listens, he works, he develops positive relationships with the teachers and peers. This has a huge effect on our entire school, and it has our school rooting for him. Number 3, Kyler and his family are loyal. They're loyal to Vincent Massey, loyal to basketball in Manitoba. During a time when there are many opportunities for student athletes to explore other programming opportunities, Kyler and his family decided it was in their best interest to develop at Vincent Massey. This continuity allowed Kyler to flourish and continue to get better and to work on his game for the past 3 years. Number 4, and probably most importantly, Kyler loves to win. Kyler plays with an edge that most elite basketball players have. This will to do what it takes to win has a strong influence on everyone involved in our basketball program. His competitive spirit naturally transfers into leadership skills that have developed throughout the years. Even though Kyler is more motivated than most by competition, Kyler truly understands that his participation in sport is not all about winning. He knows that if you're playing and learning sport, that you are winning in life. Whether he wins or not, he knows that the obstacle is the way. His ability to reflect and analyze allows him constant growth and development as he continues his basketball journey. After all, Kyler is a special kid and a special basketball player. Using consistency, humility, loyalty, and competitive spirit, he's had a positive impact on the level of basketball in Manitoba for the past 3 years. We are thrilled for him and his family as he will continue his development in Orangeville, Ontario at Orangeville Prep next year. On behalf of our team and our school, I would like to congratulate him on being selected this year's Quad A MHSAA Player of the Year.
Geez, coaching against Kyler, I never once thought, why is he such a good player? I always thought, why does he have to be such a good player? All right, our Coaching Service Awards. Our next set of awards recognizes coaches who have a sustained, long-time commitment to basketball in Manitoba. Helping present these awards is Ross Wedlick and Dan Becker of Basketball Manitoba. Our 15-year award for people that have been in it for 15 years. David Day from Nelson McIntyre Collegiate. David's not able to be here today. We have some 20 years of service awards. We have Christy Steves from Stonewall Collegiate. Jeff Shattuck from Miles MacDonnell Collegiate. Joanne Layton from the King's School. Tricia Halson from Selkirk Regional School. And Chiranjit Goswami from Wolves and from Dakota. That's it. They're all up there. Yeah. One's not here. Oh, there he comes. Sorry. We have some people that have put in 30 years of service. We have Carrie Lasuc from Neelan High School. Terry Beasley from Killarney School. And Trevor Beals from Neelan High School. Basketball Manitoba is pleased to present the new Morris Glimcher Student Manager Award. This $1,000 scholarship is sponsored by retired MHSAA Executive Director Morris Glimcher and is presented annually to a student manager from the basketball community. The scholarship has been presented by the MHSAA since 1998 and will now join the other awards and recognitions made annually by Basketball Manitoba. The award recognizes a student manager with a varsity high school basketball team that is currently in grade 12 in Manitoba that has a minimum average of at least 65%. Morris retired from the MHSAA after 40 years as its executive director in 2016 and was inducted into the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame in 2012. Ross Weslick of Basketball Manitoba will assist with the award. We're pleased to present this year's Morris Glimcher Student Manager Award to Deepinder Dandiala from Garden City Collegiate. The head coach at Garden City, Daryl Flett, commented she was a very dedicated manager who took care of all the team stats, had a great relationship with the team, and played a key role in our success as a team while being on the honor roll for each of 3 years she has been with the team. She plans to go to the University of St. Boniface next year and study in the field of nursing. The next award is the President's Award Community Development Award. The President's Award annually recognizes an individual or organization who has made significant contributions in the community and to the growth and development of Basketball Manitoba. President's Award. This year's President's Award is the Spence Neighborhood Association. Whole list of things here. Okay. You want to read them all?
The Spence Neighborhood Association established the Magnus Eliasson Recreation Center, or more commonly known now as MERC, basketball program back in 2004 as a pilot program to encourage youth from the inner city of Winnipeg to participate in organized sport. That fall, with the support of the WNBA, they accepted 2 teams from the Spence Neighborhood Association under the name MERC for league play. In order to prevent athletes from facing barriers, the organization provided transportation, uniforms, coaches, facilities, meals, and equipment to every single participant. Although the basketball results were not always the best, the results outside the court of team building and developing the sense of belonging were beyond expectations. To put this into perspective, this is a time when the inner city gangs were actively recruiting kids from youth from the area. Providing the community youth with an opportunity to develop positive attitudes away from the gangs was a big deal. As the years passed, the program continued to expand and provide access to participants at multiple age categories. The results of the court on the court were starting to match the results off the court. The SNA basketball program had a 90% player high school graduation rate when the inner city was averaging between 40 to 50%. All the credit cannot be given to the program, but they played an integral part in providing a positive environment for youth to participate and develop as individuals. The program has been well established with the help of Basketball Manitoba, the WNBA, University of Winnipeg, and Canadian Tire Jumpstart. They serve communities, youth from community and otherwise would not be able to participate in sport. In total, the program has served over 1,000 players in the community. Few players made basketball their life. Some of their alumni, of course, is Kia and Kiana Giles, William Sisse, and Emmanuel Acott. This is a wonderful program for us, and we're very, very happy in their 15th anniversary to recognize the Spence Neighborhood Association with the President's Award. I believe Jasmine Lofty of the SNA is here today to receive the award. Would you come forward, please? Bring your partner with you.
Thank you. Thank you for this award. I'm honored to be here and accept this award on behalf of Spence Neighborhood Association. Currently, I'm the Community Sport Program Coordinator at Spence, where we pride ourselves in being able to offer youth in the West End area barrier-free access to sport. Also with me today is Megan Lemoyne, who played a big role in the basketball program this past year, and our third member, Jasmine, couldn't make it, unfortunately, today. As a team, we worked very hard to make the program a success. This included coordinating rides and very often driving youth to and from practices or games, getting the uniforms ready, having the equipment prepared, and communicating with each and every family. Although this may not sound like a lot, doing that for 4 different teams for 6 months was quite a handful. I'm very proud of our team and the tremendous commitment and effort everyone showed during these last few months. As you can tell, although I'm up here receiving this award, it is the work of everyone at the organization that is being recognized today. This program has been running for many years, so this award does not only recognize our staff from this year, but also those who began the program, those who carried it forward since its inception, and the dozens of volunteer drivers and coaches that helped along the way. So we'd like to take the time to thank them for their amazing contribution as well. We'd also like to mention the University of Winnipeg and the WNBA for being great partners and providing us with space. Ultimately, the work that we do is for the improvement of the community and ensuring that no child is left behind. We do our best to make sure that they have the same opportunities as everyone else in the city and that they can have them in a safe and positive environment. We truly have great kids in our organization, and through sport they find a way to express and apply themselves. And although they may not have picked up on this yet, the sport has served to teach them values like teamwork, commitment, and developing a strong work ethic. I think those values will go a much longer way for them than they realize. In all, looking back at our season, I can confidently say that I think the basketball program has been a great success and we achieved our goals. We take pride in the work that we have done and will continue to work hard and to challenge ourselves to do the best job we can for the betterment of the neighborhood and our city. Thank you again for this honor and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Okay, now we have the Liana Weneke Courage Award. Basketball Manitoba is pleased to present the new Liana Weneke Courage Award. Recognized as an individual who has overcome a number of obstacles and challenges in their life while staying involved in the sport of basketball. 2018 Basketball Manitoba made a special presentation to Liana in recognition of her overcoming an attack in 2017 and has used the sport of basketball as a part of her recovery. And she's a member of the University of Winnipeg Westman women's basketball team. We're pleased to have one of her coaches with us today as well, Tammy Pinnell. Presenting the award to this year's recipient is Liana Weneke.
Okay, I'm honored to stand up here for the first time and to be able to hand out the Courage Award to players that show courage in overcoming adversity. As many of you may know, I was assaulted in May 2017 and put on life support. Through all the mental and physical struggles that followed, I used basketball as my strength to overcome the many challenges I had to face. My family, friends, teammates, and coaches have helped me immensely in my recovery, and I truly believe that without them, with their support and their encouragement, and the ones of many others, I truly believe I wouldn't have been able to return to the. Pleased to recognize a player today that has and continues to overcome challenges in his life and inspires those around him. He has used the sport of basketball to help his recovery, and we are pleased to present this year's Courage Award to Didi Deng of Kelvin High School. As part of his recognition, Basketball Manitoba will be donating $500 in his name to a cause of his choice. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be here today, so I think, Ross, are you just going to accept it? Okay.
Okay, we have the Mike Spack Lifetime Achievement Award. The Mike Spack Award annually recognizes an individual who has made significant contributions to the growth and development of basketball in Manitoba over a sustained period of time. Presenting this year's award will be Carrie Lesuc.
This year's Mike Spack recipient was born and raised in Brandon. For over 30 years, he has been teaching in Brandon, 22 of those at Neelan High School, with his coaching career extending over 35 years. He played high school basketball with the Crocus Plains Plainsmen under Coach Roy Kearns, and then was recruited by Jerry Hemmings and played for the hometown Brandon Bobcats, where he played 5 seasons, including winning the Jim Casey Memorial Award for sportsmanship in the 1985-86 season. He started coaching while he was in university, and after his university playing days, he quickly became the coach of the Brandon Bobcats women's basketball team. He coached there for 8 years, taking them to 6 playoff appearances. Don Thompson and his wife have raised 3 multi-sport children. All 3 excelled in different sports, Mary in volleyball, Paige in basketball, and Jake in hockey. While Don was busy with his various teams, his lovely wife Jennifer supported her husband's coaching and ran from gym to soccer field, to hockey rink, wherever the kids may be playing. Don juggled his schedule as much as he could to watch his kids compete. In many of his kids' different sporting endeavors, he was more than a father in the stands, he was also their coach. Don coached a number of provincial teams for Basketball Manitoba, notably 2 stints with the Canada Games boys team and 1 with the girls in 2013, where he led them to a bronze medal. I believe that bronze medal is extra special, as his daughter Paige was a member of this Manitoba team. Don has done camps and clinics across Manitoba and Western Canada for grassroots, high school, and elite levels. He has partnered with Basketball Canada on many of these ventures. In Brandon, as soon as the basketball season concludes, he has and is still doing a grassroots program for the sports of volleyball and basketball called Mini Spartans. Every spring, every day of these sessions for 18 years, he will work with more than 300 kids. His Mini Spartans directly correlates to many kids getting excited and interested in playing these 2 sports. I'm going to quickly mention some of his accolades, as it would take way too long to mention all of them, but here we go. He was awarded Basketball Manitoba's Coach of the Year 6 times, including their open category Coach of the Year, and he's also on their committee for this awards banquet. He's also a recipient of the MHSAA Coach of the Year and their first ever Nick Leping Award for leadership. Plus, he was named Coaching Manitoba's School Coach of the Year in 2012. His involvement with the Manitoba High Schools Athletic Association is very admirable, to say the least. I lost track of the number of provincial and volleyball championships he has hosted, and he's also served on their board of directors on a few occasions, including representing the MHSAA at Canadian School Sport Federation meetings. Coach Thompson is a very strong advocate for basketball in Manitoba, and I dare say across Canada. For those of you who have coached against him or had a chance to know him, He is simply a friend to basketball in Manitoba. Coach Thompson is notably known for coaching the Neelan Spartans boys basketball teams starting in the 2001 season. His players very affectionately call him T. He has placed many, many players on university teams. As the Spartan bench boss, T has led his basketball teams to 14 medals, 7 of those being gold. Just recently, he coached the boys and girls teams at the same time for 4 years at Neelan. During that time, I helped him with the varsity boys team, and as coaches, we know how hard it is to coach one team during the basketball season, never mind 2. And there's one time, he always had 2 practices back-to-back most evenings, and then tournaments he coached 6, 7, 8 games. I remember one evening in late February when I figured he must be tired and figuring he might need a night off, I offered him to run both practice for him. He simply said, "Why?" Referring, he couldn't understand why anybody would be tired at this time of the year running 2 teams every day. Don, when it comes to your players, you get the big picture, and more importantly, you care, you sincerely care. Years ago, we became friends through the MHSAA and coaching against each other. We had a great rivalry, and our 2 programs became a competitive but respectful rivalry. During that time, I always thought he was a very good coach. But now that I'm also a Neelan Spartan coach and have coached alongside him, I know he is an amazing coach. Integrity, hard work, and passion for the betterment of his athletes is the best way to describe him. He has a special relationship and respect for his players and only wants them to develop into the best basketball players that they can be, but more importantly, he wants them to be the best people they can be. To him, it's a process. It's a process of his athletes learning the life lessons of sport. This is and always will be his passion. I have a couple of quotes for you from some of the people that are important around him. From Coach Jerry Hemmings, who is his university basketball coach. "I'm so proud of the job that Coach Thompson has done in developing his basketball players through on the floor and in the classroom. Coach Thompson has a long history of instilling a great work ethic into his players that have led him to many championships. Congratulations, Don." From Coach Dwayne White, which is a close friend of his, another Mike Spack Award winner, and coached 40 years of basketball and is very much a legend in rural Manitoba in basketball. Coach White said, "In life, we are blessed when we learn from the humble, caring, and kind people. Coach Thompson is one of those special people, a mentor to our basketball program in Swan River, who certainly was very instrumental in our success. Oh, by the way, did I mention he is an exemplary coach as well? Congratulations, Coach. You are certainly deserving." His daughter Paige couldn't be here today as she's finishing her 5th year of basketball at the University of Victoria, but I think her quote probably sums up the best from her father. She says, "T, you have believed in me as a basketball player and as a person when I didn't believe in myself. I would not have the abilities to work towards my goals without you. You have always shown me how strong I am no matter what happens. A big flaming ball of gas is going to rise from the east and it'll be a new day. You have not only inspired me, but every little mini Spartan that walks into the gym ready to learn the game of basketball. Congratulations, Dad. I'm honored to have been coached and know you as my father." In closing, Don has said on many occasions, "I do what I do because I love what I do." After being around him for many years, I can definitely attest to that. He often starts practices by saying, with encouragement, "Let's get better." Well, T, we were all better for spending time with you. If you ever walk into Don's office and take a look at the news articles and pictures on the wall, you will see his life at Neelan right before your eyes. But he doesn't display them for others to admire. His walls are decorated so that he can cherish the memories every time he's in his own office. For this, T, you are living the dream. For those of us who have been attending this banquet for a long time, the Mike Spack Award may be the most prestigious award there is. There's none more deserving than Neelan's, Brandon's, and Manitoba's basketball friend, Coach Don Thompson.
Wow. Couple of things before I get started, and it's awesome. I sat back there, and back in 1994, I mean, way before Adam was in charge, they actually made a mistake, and they hired me to coach provincial team basketball. But rather than give me a head coaching position, they said at the time that, you know what, you're best to probably work with somebody. I said, awesome, okay, I'll work with somebody. Well, that person, back in the day, just happened to be Coach Scott Martin. And I was so excited. Well, I'm going to go rural Manitoba, Brandon, I'm going to go work with Coach Scott Martin. And I knew Scott back in the day. We both had hair, and we actually played the game. He wore high socks. With my size of my legs, they were always short socks. But we played lots. And so I got to be an assistant coach in 1994 on the provincial 17U men's team. Wow. It was exciting. We went to our first tournament in Saskatoon. Hey. No, not now. He's being the head coach again. Tell me what to do. So as an assistant, I knew that my job was just to give him advice. I'm not going to change what he does because he was pretty organized when he set up practice plans. My first practice I went to, I drove 2.5 hours into Mennonite Brethren Collegiate. I came in and go, oh, okay, coach, what are we doing? Well, he pulled out a napkin that had some writing on it. Said, here we go. Okay, so we're good. So we go to a tournament in Saskatoon. And so we're killing a little bit of time, and coach goes, hey, let's go for a walk. So we're walking around downtown Saskatoon. I don't know if you remember that, coach. It's like it was yesterday for me. Coach Martin looks around, and we walk by a Yuck Yucks comedy club, and he goes, hey, slaps me in the shoulder. You know what? I used to do stand-up comedy. I go, no way. Yeah, he goes, I love doing stand-up comedy. I'm really good at it. It's awesome. So as an assistant coach, I gave him some advice. I said, don't quit your day job. Thankfully for all of you, he's still teaching at Sisler High School, right? Oh, da-dum-bump, okay. Anyhow, thank you, Carrie, for that introduction. In 1981, I sat there right where all you did, right? That was my graduating high school, all-star game day, and we sat in here, and I remember two things vividly as a player sitting in those chairs that you did. The first one was, when is this going to end? And don't let the old guys speak. Well, unfortunately, they left me for the end, so they're going to let the old guys speak a little bit here. Wow, the Mike Spack award. I'm really not sure, as Carrie said, I mean, I'm not sure why they give out awards for doing things that we love to do. But I truly am honored and humbled for receiving such an award with such a group of great people on that list. None more special to me than Mike Spack, because I'm probably one of the few people that can say in this room that Mike Spack actually was part of my basketball journey. When I was in grade 7, the first tournament I ever played in was the Mike Spack tournament held at Vincent Massey High School in Brandon. Right after that, Mike and I interacted as athletes. I used to go to the YMCA to try to get better, and Mike Spack was there playing. Mike Spack was a Canadian national team player, about this big, and we would play, and I'd play with him. He had the two-handed teardrop down from 18 feet that you'd ever see. Mike was an official in Brandon, and I'm not going to talk much because knowing me with officials, that'd be a bad story to begin with. And finally, Mike was a supporter of anything that I did in basketball in our community. And of all things, some say, and my wife would agree, that I'm a pack rat, but I pulled out a little note that Mike Spack left me in January of 1999. I was coaching the women's team at Brandon University, and we'd just come off a weekend of knocking off the number 5 ranked UBC Thunderbirds. It was a pretty big weekend for us. Come back to work on Tuesday, and there's a note in my mailbox from Mike, and it said this. It says, congrats, congrats, congrats. Well deserved. As all good things happen to people who do things right. Mike. Words that kind of sat there, and that was the kind of person he was. So receiving an award like this is really special to me. First and foremost, there's so many people I have to thank. First of all, to the best team that I've ever been part of, the Thompson family. As you know, every great team has a great CEO and general manager, and I have that in my wife, Jen. For years, you have supported, you've been patient, And most importantly, you've kept me in line and made sure that I'm doing things that are important for us. To my 3 kids, Mary, Paige, and Jake, your talents on the floor are only outnumbered by your empathy for others and your care for what you do. To Basketball Manitoba, and when you're as long in the tooth as me, it starts way before Adam and Dan, right? It started with Gail Kendall and Tracy Turner and Irv Hannock, and most recently, Adam Wedlake and Dan Becker. Your passion, your enthusiasm, most importantly, your care for the game in basketball is why it is so strong in our province. Thank you. Growing up, I had 3 coaches that were instrumental to me. I had Larry Rodenbush, who was my grade 7, 8, 9 coach, who got me excited about the game of basketball. I then had Dwight Kearns, who took me in high school and showed me that hard work and commitment towards goals, anything's possible in this game. Later, Dwight taught me the valuable lesson that it's more important to learn things about the people taking jump shots than whether the result of the jump shot going in the basket. And finally, to Jerry Hemmings, who I still believe to this day is one of the best tacticians of the game of basketball we've ever seen. As I look around this room, there's so many coaches that I now consider no longer coaches, but friends. I have Murray Brown. Murray, in the early 1990s, I was recruiting girls to go to Brandon University from one of the top basketball programs in the province. This many years later, nothing's changed, Murray, other than you and I have more gray hair. To Brian Kornberger. Brian and I never met on a basketball court. Brian and I met, I'm sure you remember, Brian and I first met in the Carberry Sandhills on a 10-kilometer professional development hike. A couple of major outdoor athletes like us, right? Little did I know that day I was going to meet one of the greatest contributors to girls basketball in our province. Thank you, Brian. To Randy Casano, and Randy's not here. Randy saved my butt more than once. His first time was when I was in grade 12 and we were playing the Oak Park Raiders. Oak Park at the time was in some really lovely colors. Back then they were orange, black, and white. It was like a Halloween costume. We're playing them in a tournament final, and I got a little heated in the game. And I decided that I could go and stand up for a teammate and go rough up one of his guys. Randy quietly grabbed me behind the shoulders and just said, "You know what, Don? I wouldn't mess with that." A few years later, Randy explained why, and I'm glad he did. Randy's become a good friend of mine, and definitely we've learned we have lots in common. As I look around the room, I have my good friend Kerry Lazouk and Hank Nyman and Jen Howard at 3A level, and the efforts you put in basketball in our province at the AAA to represent those kids is invaluable, and I appreciate it and continue doing that. In the city, I have my good friend Jeff Leping. Jeff, no Argyle today. What's going on, man? Right? Only guy I can say that can still pull off Argyle, but anyhow. I got Jeff, Dean Favoni, Phil Penner. Yep, I used to coach Phil Penner, and you know what, guys, if you ever played for Phil, you're way more coachable than he ever was. Right? To Coach Martin, for the time we've spent, Michael Tan, Stacey Howish, and I know I'm missing more, the amount of time, Mike Rainbolt at the University of Winnipeg, Nick Lothar. Nick, tremendous job, and trust me, I'm still pissed off about 2005. Outside the city, I see Keith Forsyth here, and Trevor Penner and Terry Beasley, Darren Rowe and Neepwa doing outstanding things in their community to carry basketball in this province. I mean, unbelievable contributions. As you go north, we have Kevin Carter and the guys in Swan River. More recently, it makes me smile watching programs take off in the PAW in Carmen with the efforts of Matt Hagborg and Larissa Enns. Tremendous jobs, right? Without these people, basketball would not be strong here. To all the players and parents, I thank you for letting me be a little part of your lives. As great as all these people have been an influence in my life, the two biggest influences in my life have been my parents, and neither one of them ever played, right? My dad was a metal manufacturing guy, and for a hobby for 45 years, he farmed 1,600 acres just as a hobby on top of his other job. I learned more lessons from him than I ever did on a basketball court. I learned 3 things that he taught me. He taught me to work hard because he said that's all you ever have complete control of. He taught me to be passionate about what I do. and to be passionate about what you do, you have to have fun. And if you can't laugh with the kids and you can't laugh at what happens in a game or practice, then it's that much more difficult. And more importantly, coaches, we got to learn to laugh at ourselves, because God, who would ever take us that serious? Finally, Dad said you had to build relationships, because relationships are the greatest asset that you'll ever have. And for that, I think I'm so thankful for that advice as I sit here tonight. Dwayne White, as Kerry mentioned to me one time as a young coach, he said, you know what? Surround yourself with good people, and the journey is so much more fun, and he's so correct. Our time with the 2012-2013 provincial team that eventually finished in the Canada Games in 2013 is such an example of that. I was able to surround myself with 3 really good friends, and Randy Cassano, Colleen Dufresne, and Michelle Hines. It's sung now. I know Eric get all ticked off about that. Relax, man. She's still in control. Right? I'm glad you heard that. I don't think he heard that. That's good. More importantly, we had more fun than the kids for those 2 summers, I'll guarantee. We also surrounded us with a great group of young ladies, right? A group that may be a little bit of shy in talent and athleticism compared to those in the power provinces around this country, but they made up for it in enthusiasm, hard work, and more importantly, an empathy towards each other. One that I continue to see every time I click on the Basketball Manitoba website now. As I watch Emily Potter and Montana Kinzel carry on the Sarah Strong fundraiser for our fallen teammate, Sarah Ibrahim. Finally, yes, the old guy's almost done. Finally, my grandfather taught me one thing. He taught me that a person's wealth is never measured by the number of bushels in a grain bin. It's never measured by the dollars in your wallet. It's never measured by what you have in your bank account. It's measured by the amount of people whose lives you touch along the way and the lives they touch yours. And today I stand up here, I kid you not, I feel as one of the wealthiest people I know. So thank you so much.
Coach. He's got so many of those things it doesn't even matter anymore for him. You know, every year it's kind of like, I got a little side story about Don Thompson. So we're the same age. We used to play high school basketball against each other. Then we played university basketball against each other. We've both been coaching for over 30 years, probably 40 years now. We coach against each other. And every year it's the same thing. I stand up here and MC this basket, and he wins Coach of the Year award. He's the Coach of the Year. I'm coach for another year. Okay? I even asked Adam, I said, Adam, can I ever win Coach of the Year? Adam says, no, but do you want to MC next year for us again? So. All right. Banquet video is now available on Basketball Manitoba website. All event photos and a video of the award proceedings will be available through JJ Ali Photography website next week at jjaliphotography.com. Event photos are now on Basketball Manitoba's social media networks. We have some thank yous. Thank you to Sport Manitoba, Coaching Manitoba, St. Paul's High School, Canada Basketball, Victoria Inn Hotel, Wilson Sports, Under Armour, Kahanaverse Sports, Rogers, JJ Ali Photography, Manitoba Sports Writers and Sportscasters, Manitoba Association of Basketball Officials, Balling for Cure. Basketball Manitoba would like to thank the awards committee, Stacey Hawash, Chiranjit Goswami, Don Thompson. That's why he wins Coach of the Year every year. He's on the committee. Eric Sung, Kelly Sinog, Evan Cox, Carl Schroeder, Dan Becker, Jillian Keller, Ross Wedlick, Adam Wedlick, Jen Howe, Hank Nyman, Jeff Leping, Dean Favoni, Adam Kahn, Jason Papone, Michael Tan, Christy Steves, Arista Ryback. Thank you to all committee members. And don't forget, coming up at 5:45, we have the 4A girls game. And at 7:15, the 4A boys game. And there's a coaches social to follow at St. Paul's after the 4A coaches game. All coaches are welcome. I think that's it. That's it. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Thank you for the support.